Flyout is a sandbox flight simulator that lets you design, build, and fly your own designs in a reasonably realistic environment. And if you take it seriously enough, you can turn out some fantastically accurate airplanes. But in order to do that, it's worth it to understand some basic concepts of flying. Welcome back to Aviarter, because flying is as much art as science. I'm a certified flight instructor with over 1,000 hours of instruction given, and today we're going to talk about stability. What is stability? Well, stability is an aircraft's inherent ability to remain in or return to its original steady flight path after being disturbed by external forces like turbulent control inputs. Stability can be divided into two categories, static and dynamic. Static stability is the aircraft action immediately after a control input. Dynamic stability is the trend of actions after the control input. These reactions are divided into three categories as well: positive, neutral, and negative. Positive stability is the tendency of an aircraft to return to its original steady state or equilibrium. Neutral shows no change in aircraft behavior when the controls are released, or no return to equilibrium, and negative stability would be the tendency of the aircraft to continue to exaggerate the action after the controls are let go. Got it? It's confusing, right? Well, let's string these concepts together. If I pull back on the stick, the houses get smaller, right? Well, what happens if I let go of the stick? Well, the aircraft's initial reaction is to return back to its original attitude, thereby pitching down. It's considered to have positive static stability if that happens. Over time, if the aircraft eventually and without any help from the pilot returns back to its original attitude or state of equilibrium, then it's considered to have positive dynamic stability as well. Similarly, if I pull back on the stick and let go and nothing happens, that would be considered neutral static stability. And if nothing happens over time and the aircraft continues upward, that would be neutral dynamic stability. Likewise, if I pull back and then I let go and the airplane wants to continue to pitch up, exaggerating that action, then that would be negative static stability and probably result in a stall and thus negative dynamic stability and a result in the need for pilot input. The easiest way to affect stability is the relationship between the center of gravity and the center of pressure. The center of gravity is the location where all of the weight of the aircraft is centered. It's the point around which the aircraft will rotate during flight. The center of pressure is the location where all of the lift and other aerodynamic forces are concentrated. In flyout, the center of gravity is a yellow and black checkered circle, and the center of pressure is a blue and black checkered circle. As a rule, the center of gravity should always be ahead of the center of pressure. The further ahead, the more stable the aircraft will be, however, only to a point. Eventually, it will be too far forward and you won't be able to get the aircraft off the runway, or it will need too much pitch up that you'll run out of control authority. Likewise, the closer the CG gets to the center of pressure, the more unstable the aircraft will become until it becomes effectively uncontrollable. Another way to affect stability is through dihedral and anhedral. Both of these are related to the angle of the wings. Not the angle of attack, that's different, but the angle of the upward or downward sweep of the wings when looking at them head on. Dihedral is a sweep upwards and lifts the center of pressure above the wing root. Dihedral makes the aircraft more stable by moving the center of pressure above the center of gravity. Anhedral is a sweep downwards and moves the center of pressure down below the wing root. Think of it as the difference between trying to balance a pencil vertically. If you hold it at the top, it's inherently stable. Trying to balance it on the bottom, though, is more difficult. Wing placement, too, plays a role. High-winged airplanes are more stable than low-winged airplanes. Combining location and dihedral or anhedral will also affect the stability of your aircraft. You may then be thinking that a high-winged aircraft with dihedral is the most stable airplane you can make, and you'd be correct. Cessna 172s use this configuration. But then what about larger cargo aircraft like the C-17? They have a high wing and anhedral. Isn't that introducing instability where maybe you shouldn't have any? Why do they do that? Well, remember how I said the further forward the CG, the more stable, but only to a point? Well, it turns out that airplanes need some instability in order to be able to actually maneuver and fly. The high wing of the C-17 gives it inherent stability, but the anhedral introduces just enough instability by moving the center of pressure down to make it able to maneuver like this. And that is your introduction to stability. As a concept, it's easy to grasp, but the details can be confusing. Did this video make sense for you? What questions do you have? Leave them in the comments section and I may answer them in a future video. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more flying content, and thanks for watching.